शुरुआत कर रहे हैं क्योंकि VIP रूट लगी थी, so we had to wait for a few students to join us. Once again, welcome to the National Museum, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all today as we delve into one of the most exciting branches of science, that's marine archaeology. Now, please allow me to introduce the speaker and share a little bit about the lecture. To begin with, this field brings together the fascinating worlds of archaeology and oceanography, focusing on the study of shipwrecks and mysteries surrounding coastal cities. One of the key elements in understanding these ancient sites in examining sea level fluctuations, which offer insights into places and sites that have long captured our imaginations. Today's lecture, titled The Fascinating World of Marine Archaeology, promises to transport us to the world where the ocean holds the secrets of ancient civilizations. Dr. Nigam will take us on a journey through the ancient dockyard of Lothal, the submerged city of Dwarka, the Ram Setu, and the fascinating evidence of tsunami at Dholavira, among other historical treasures. Sir's talk will underscore the profound impact the sea has had on shaping the rise and fall of ancient cities along our coastlines, helping us understand the delicate relationship between human settlements and the ever-changing sea. Before we delve into today's exciting lecture, please allow me to take a moment to introduce our speaker, Dr. Rajiv Nigam, sir. Sir is a pioneer in the field of marine archaeology, particularly in micropaleontology, and has made groundbreaking contributions to our understanding of past monsoons, sea level fluctuations, tsunamis, paleofisheries, and pollution monitoring. But what makes his work especially intriguing is his application of foraminifera, quite a fancy word, and I'm sure Sir will throw a light on this as well and help us understand it better, in marine archaeology, helping unlock the secrets of ancient sites like Lothal and, as I had mentioned, the submerged Dwarka and the Neolithic human settlements in the Gulf of Khambat. He even uncovered the earliest evidence of tsunami protection at Dholavira, findings that have captured global attention, and he would be discussing a lot about this today. Dr. Nigam's career spans decades of research at the National Institute of Oceanography, which is based in Goa, where he started as a scientist in 1978 and later served as the head of Geology Division and Marine Archaeology. After retiring, he continues to add value to a lot of research works that he has been leading. And throughout his career, he has achieved many milestones, and he has been bestowed with awards and recognitions, just to name a few. The CSIR Young Artist Award, the prestigious Acharya Chanakya Award, the National Mineral Awards from the Ministry of Coal and Mines, the Bhalla Gold Award from the Paleontological Society of India, the Ministry of Earth Sciences first prize for his book on monsoons, and of course the J.A. Cushman Award presented at the Geological Society of America meeting in Denver, USA. Sir's body of work is nothing short of extraordinary, and we are privileged, sir, that you're here amongst us today. You'll be discussing about Dholavira that we have been eager to know about, and we are really excited to go through the presentation along with you. But before I hand over the session to you, I would request our Director General, sir, to please address the audience and felicitate our speaker with a replica of Sarnath Buddha, and as well as a little floral bouquet for our speaker. So may I have you here, sir, please?
Dear participants, It's our great pleasure that today we have Dr. Rajiv Nigam with us, who is a well-known marine archaeologist. And we are grateful to you for accepting our invitation to deliver the monthly public lecture this time. For the participants, I would like to mention that as already stated in the title, Fascinating World of Marine Archaeology, the marine archaeology is a branch of archaeology where we have not done much, and it has got a very great potential for working in future. With some of the important aspects of marine archaeology about which we will be hearing today, as already mentioned here, he will be speaking on the dockyard of Lothal. Lothal was excavated in 1950s, and then after that, for last about 75 years or so, discussions had been going on whether in Lothal we have a dockyard or it should not be called a dockyard, for which we, in the Archaeological Survey of India, we had done some work in collaboration with University of Bologna, Italy, and we'll be delighted to know about the work which the NIO under Dr. Nigam has done. Dr. Nigam and his team members, I know three of the archaeologists who had been working with him, Sheila Tripathi, Sundaresh, and Gaur. Two of them are retired, one is going to retire. So the once Gaur will get retirement, then it would be very great gap in the study of marine archaeology. For those students who are seated here, I would also suggest them to consider in their career if they can study marine archaeology, and the National Institute of Oceanography in Goa will be happy to have you there. Dr. Nigam will be talking about the submerged Dwarka and the sea level changes which have occurred from time to time in the past. The sea level changes have been reflected in our literature also when we hear about the submergence of the city of Dwarka at the end of the Dwapar era. And scientifically, how far it is proved that there was a city which had submerged, Dr. Nigam would be throwing light on that. Ram Setu had been very much in general discussions in recent years. So about that, and one very important aspect which he had surveyed at Dholavira, the great Harappan site in Gujarat. He has found the remains of walls which were made to stop the tsunami. And then he has studied about the nature as well as dating of tsunami. So all these aspects you will be hearing from the learned speaker, who had been a great friend of me for last so many years. And I thought better to have his lecture, particularly for those young students and scholars, coming up scholars, who can have more informative studies about the marine archaeology today. Thank you very much.
May we request Dr. Nigam to please join us on the stage?
Very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to today's lecture. I am thankful to Dr. Mani for giving me an opportunity to be in front of you. I am also thankful to Riga, who she made all the arrangements, and Priyanka, who has showed me the museum today, and I am damn impressed, and I am regretting why I have not visited this museum before. I would like to come back again and again here because there is a lot of things to learn. Friends, I will tell you, I am not an archaeologist, I am basically a geologist who is using the geological tool into archaeology. And this today's date, when Dr. Mani asked me, I choose for a specific reason. Archaeology lectures should be on the science day, I believe it. Today is the science day. Because long back this question was asked in Annao, and after that archaeology took a back seat because some of the member of parliaments criticized it Annao that archaeology is not a science and it should not be in Annao. It should be in some art institute. That time also I strongly disagreed with them, and today also I believe that archaeology is a science. Anything which goes towards searching the truth with the artifacts, with the hard evidences is a science. And more branches of science should be applied into the field of archaeology if we want to know the conclusive evidences which is acceptable to the younger generation of this country. Because when you only cite from Vedas or Ramayanas or Valmiki and try to prove that Ram Setu existed or Krishna's Dwarka submerged, I'm not diluting the importance of literary references, but the younger generation is looking more towards scientific facts. And we made a little efforts at the National Institute of Oceanography, and I would like to present to you. Dr. Mani has made my job very easy to tell that what exactly I'm going to tell today, what are the topics which I'm going to cover. But friends, before that, because I believe that it is the sea which has shaped the destiny of many of ancient Indian coastal towns. So I will spend some little time how to generate the sea level curve, and then I will come to the archaeology. So with your permission, I would like to start today. It's a repeat of the same title. And since I have only 1 hour to talk to you, so I will be little faster. But anytime any one of you feel that something is not clear or you want to know more, you have liberty to interrupt me. You can ask any question to me. You can also ask question at the end of the talk. And I can assure you one thing, no question is a bad question. Okay, it is the answer which can be good or bad, and that I leave it to your judgment that whether I answered you properly or not. Friends, in India, the archaeology, the discovery of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa has given an impetus to the total archaeology. So archaeology started in a very formal way and become a very popular subject, and it has included into the textbooks of the school and colleges based on this discovery. And since then, one question which is repeatedly asked, why to study archaeology? This question has been asked everywhere and by many people. When everybody is looking forward, people ask me also. Everybody is looking forward and you are the people who are taking us back. Why I should be interested to know what happened 10,000 years back, what happened 5,000 years back, what happened 2,000 years back. Tell me what is going to happen in the future. So I always tell them that in literature, they say that experience is yesterday's answer for tomorrow's problem. So is in the science. The knowledge of past is a guiding factor for having a better future. This is the sentence which I will use in my last slide. I want to start here. See the spread of Indian culture. It is the Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Think of our ancestors who have gone from India and built the temple in far-off place of Cambodia. They also built a temple in Baalbek Temple in Lebanon. How many of us know? This question I ask in many audience and I never got an idea. Before, even in India, forget about outside India, how many of us people knew about the Rani Ki Vav, the step wells of the queens, before it came on 100 rupees note? So this is our state of knowledge. So archaeology is asked this question whether it is of academic interest, whether it is of cultural heritage, interest for the culture, or it is economics. I think it's all. It's academic interest like any other branch of the science who is interested to know what happened in past, future, or present. It's also have a cultural heritage because it is the cultural heritage which gives you a reason to be proud of your ancestors. But more than that, and which the younger generation of today wants to know, it's a hard economics. Archaeology is a hard economics. And the relationship between history and archaeology is, history is normally considered as the written records. And where the written records ends, the archaeology starts. And how archaeology or the tourism is a big business these days. Many of the countries in Europe are totally surviving because of the tourism. In India also, now the government has realized and started promoting tourism. So you can see here, the foreign exchange earning, you can see starting from 2016, this 23 to 29 $1 million of US dollars. So the earning, the role of GPD in tourism, the role of tourism in GPD is increasing day by day. But what we are actually offering to our tourists? So far, India is selling to outside tourists is all the Mughal era buildings. The top 5 or 6 buildings, the number of visitors as well as the money earned, all these buildings are hardly 500 or 600 years old. So India is not only Delhi and Agra, but this is what you can see the earning, the name of monument and the total revenue. You can see Taj Mahal, Agra Fort, Qutub Minar, Humayun's Tomb, Red Fort and Fatehpur Sikri. They are taking the lion's share of tourism. And then below you can see. But these things are much more. But tourist doesn't know in India that such things also exist. Why? Because we ourselves don't know. How many of us you know that the world's oldest dockyard exists in India? The world's oldest evidence how to protect your cities from tsunami, it exists in India. If you tell these things to the outside world, the number of tourists who comes to Delhi, they will not go back from Delhi after seeing that Agra and the Delhi, Lal Killa and Taj Mahal. They will go to Gujarat also. They will go to the beautiful temples also, the monumental things. So that's what we are trying to do, to popularize the archaeological monuments which have a potential to earn the foreign currency. Things are changing. We have realized our mistake that we have overemphasized only the Mughal era buildings. Things are also changing, and Madam Finance Minister Sitaramanji, year before last when she was presenting the budget, she gave that importance will be given and finance will be made available for 3 sites, Rakhigadi, Dholavira and Lothal. This is government's attention. Out of these 2 sites, Dholavira and Lothal belongs to the subject in which I spent many years working on it, that is marine archaeology. And at Lothal recently, just I think 2 months back, Sarvanand Sonowal's ministry organized a conclave, heritage conclave at Dwarka. And they are going to build a very big museum at Lothal. And Lothal was selected because when you talk about the cultural heritage, that is one of the oldest things which we can tell to the rest of the world. So that out of these 3 sites, Rakhigadi, Lothal and Dholavira, 2 belongs to the marine archaeology. Marine archaeology is a branch of archaeology which is a very recent phenomenon. And the credit of starting this branch goes to late Dr. S.R. Rao. It's hats off to him. After retiring from Archaeological Survey of India, he came to NIO. Why he came to NIO, I will explain a little later when I will discuss Lothal. But it's a classical example that at the 60 or after retirement, life doesn't end. He came to NIO and started a new branch which gave a lot of visibility and popularity to our own institute about when he talked about Summers Dwarka. And Summers Dwarka recently has been visited, dived by Honorable Prime Minister also. That I will discuss when I will discuss Lothal. So he came, and first a unit was started in 1981. He started this work with 20,000 grant from the INSA as a project. And I would like to thank the previous science director of those institutes, Dr. Qasim, Dr. B.N. Desai, Dr. Siddiqui, who realized the potential of this branch and allowed a scientist who retired from other institute to work in his institute. Now these days, even those who are retiring from the same institute are not allowed to continue. But see the wisdom of those science leaders who allowed others to come and in their institute and start, and we all were called a meeting and told that you all have to cooperate. Whoever asked by Dr. S.R. Rao, you have to cooperate to work. So geologists, geophysicists, chemists, botanists, surveyors, everybody. Whenever he wants to have a field work, we all join. And that's why I also came into the marine archaeology. So this is our board, this is our team. The marine archaeology have the two components. One is the shipwrecks and another is the ancient coastal cities. Shipwrecks are the ancient ships which sank into the sea because of the storms or the tsunami or because of the accidents. And they have been discovered, located, photographed, sometimes extracted from the sea and put it into the museums. But this is mostly attracted the treasure hunters more than the scientists, because they were diving it, and whatever treasure, because ships when they're sinking, they're just carrying a lot of goods, valuable goods. So I'm not touching this branch because very less science was required into that. Rather, I will go for the other branch where we contributed a lot at NIO is the ancient coastal cities. Examples like Lothal, Kumpar, Dwarka, Surat, Daulavira, Gopikapatnam, Ramsetu, Mahabalipuram, and there are so many. See, the very question which has been asked by many things, you are a geologist, what you are doing in marine archaeology? So friends, because of the project on global warming, you all know that global warming is an ongoing phenomenon which is considering considerable interest all over the world. And because of global warming, this ice in the polar region is likely to melt, which is likely to raise the sea level, and which is going to affect a lot of coastal areas. So in order to correctly assess, we should know how sea level has fluctuated in the past. So I worked on reconstructing the past sea level or past climate. So our objective was to reconstruct the past, and archaeologists also reconstruct the past. So when two branches of science are having the same objective, definitely they have a parallel and they can support each other. And that's what happened in NIO. As a scientist, we were using these equipments, whereas the archaeologists are using like coins and wells and the stone anchors and all. So our tools are different, but objective is same. These are some of the instruments which have been used in marine archaeology. This is the GPR, ground penetrating radar. This is basically an instrument which is used by civil engineers. With the help of it, you can do a survey here, and if any temple is buried below this, you can see it through the GPR records. In archaeology, one of the biggest limitation was there. Excavation is a very expensive job, and it's not necessary wherever you excavate you get something. So it is better to do a GPR survey at every archaeological sites, and where you get the evidence of some hard objects buried into the soil, you should that area should be marked for the further excavation. So we use it at Daulavira. This is our boat. Boat is the first condition, and Marine archaeology or marine science is an expensive science because hiring a boat is very expensive. This is the sextant now, and this is used for the position fixing. On land, you can say it's very easy, 5 meter north of a National Museum towards this road, that road, you can locate. But in ocean, you don't know if you want to go again and again to the same spot, you should have a very fixed location. So that location has been fixed with the help of sextant. Now sextant is not being used. It is used in Dwarka excavation. Now we use the DGPS, the satellite position system. This is the echo sounder which we use to find out the depth. This is the magnometer and the seismic instrument which we use if any iron or metallic object is there, which is buried into the sea. This is a side scan sonar, or fish we call it, what lies below the water along the sea. This is the instrument which we used very frequently, most used instrument in the marine archaeology. Incidentally, this instrument we use it for Navy also. Their helicopter crashed in Cochin twice, and the project came to us to tell us the exact location where it is. So we took a small fishing boat, we took our instrument. It's just both the sides, the record comes, which you can say where is the object lies. So you can see here, you can see by your own eye, but below the sea you need the instrument. So this is the geophysical equipment. And this is the coring instrument. In order to get an idea about sea level changes and changes in monsoon and about existence of past tsunamis, you should reconstruct the past based on the core sediment. Means where the water ends, the sediment starts, below the sediment are the records which can tell you about the past record, and these are the microscopes. How to collect samples in ocean environment? Please bear with me, because unless you know the way we do research, there is no fun of only telling the results finally. See, if this is the land, this is the sea. The sediment comes from the land by two ways, either by wind or by rivers. Now these sediments are getting deposited at the bottom of the sea, plus lot of micro animals, microorganisms also live in the sea, which is having the hard part. This hard part is built in agreement with the prevailing environment. So in form of isotopes and the morphology, the prevailing environment is freeze, the freeze of environment in form of their tests or their shells. So after their death and the sediment, they start getting deposited at the bottom of the sea, year by year and layer by layer. You can take your ship, you can take a coring instrument, and you can do the coring. Now, unfolding these layers through some tools, you can generate the idea how monsoon fluctuated in the past, how sea level fluctuated. So that's what we have done. And simply from these layers, you will not get anything. You need certain things. So we use the microfossils. I told you what is the microfossils. They are less. This is called foraminifera that Jacob was telling us. Nigam will tell about microfossils. This is called foraminifera. In short form or nickname, we call them forams. They are less than a millimeter in size, less than a millimeter. So you need a microscope to see them. They live into the sea in plenty of numbers. There are more than 40,000 species are there. They are extremely sensitive to the environmental changes, and moreover, they are exclusively marine. Means if you want to collect it into Jamuna or Ganga, you will not get foraminifera. Only sea water have a foraminifera. And because of their sensitivity, see, these are the one are called benthic, which live at the bottom of the sea. And these are the planktonics, which will live in the water column. And they are beautifully ornamented. And because of its beauty in China, I was there twice. See, they built a foraminifera park, which is earning a lot of foreign currency because a lot of people are going to visit them. And they have enlarged it and put it into the granites. And because of their design, they commercialize it. The lot of designing jewelry and other things also been used. Here we are using foraminifera for marine archaeology. Because of this, they are applied in various applications. Today I will be talking about sea level changes and the marine archaeology. Each topic is about 1 hour lecture. Foraminifera and sea level changes. Because marine archaeology means you must know about the sea level. What is the idea about sea level? What we know about sea level? I remember when I was in class 4th, and a handwriting book where you have to copy in a very good handwriting, it is written, Samudra apni maryada kabhi nahi todta. A lot of people in our country believe that sea is where today is always there and he will be always there. It is not true. And to see the psyche, the impression, what has been taught in our childhood, even the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, when he went to the, can you identify what is this building? Any one of you? Except the people sitting in the front row? Mahabalipuram. So he took the Chinese Prime Minister to Mahabalipuram and he wrote a poem. And see the line in the poem. तुम कभी ना अपनी सीमाएं लांघे, हे सागर तुम्हें मेरा प्रणाम. Even a prime minister can commit a mistake because this is what in our education system. We have been taught समुद्र ने अपनी कभी मर्यादा नहीं तोड़ी. दोस्तों, समुद्र ने बार बार अपनी मर्यादाएं तोड़ी हैं. उसके लेकिन एविडेंस कहाँ? Where are the evidence of past sea level changes? They are everywhere. They are in religious records. They are in Gita, they are in Quran, they are in Bible. The story of Hazrat Nuh is building the ark in a desert area. He was ridiculed by fellow. That look, this man, he is building a boat in a desert area where there is no sea, no water. Why he is building a boat? Probably the wise man knew sea level is going to rise. And this is in all the religion. As a geologist, we know where the highest mountain of today, Himalaya, stood. Once upon a time that was sea. Can you believe, can you think of it? Where the mighty Himalaya is today, there was a sea called the Tethys Sea about 50 million years before. But for archaeology, these are our academic interests, but no applied aspects. For applied aspects, we are interested in what happened in last 10 to 12,000 years, a time in which the maximum evolution happened in civilizations. When we became a city dwellers, we became a civilized race, the Homo sapiens. Now you can see here, if you see the names, all foreigners' names, many times this is the present sea level, and many times sea was even higher than today, and many times it was lower than today. But what has been done in Pacific or ocean cannot be applied to the Indian Ocean because it is a relative sea level changes. Means every area has some amount of tectonic activities. Sometimes land also go little up and down because of tectonic activity. So if land is going up, you may also misinterpret it, the sea level is going down. So this is a relative sea level changes and we need to have for our own area. For that we started making efforts. If you go to the sea, I don't know how many of you have been to the sea, coastal areas. Anyone has noticed this type of thing? See what sea actually do, what we call it geological work by the sea. It erodes the coastal rock. Waves are going and hitting the rocks and creating certain structure at its level. Now you can see these are notch and these are the sea cave. But there is no sea now. Sea is somewhere down. It means sea level was somewhere here. And now it is here. So this is evidence of the sea level. And whatever material has been eroded as deposited in form of where you enjoy maximum the beaches. all along the beaches. You go to Chennai, Marina Beach, you go to Kalangut Beach. It is all the product of the eroded material which is deposited, and the shell contained in it can tell you that when sea level was higher than today. Okay. Similarly, when sea was lower than today. Think of it. Sea level is here, and because they are excellent depth indicator. What species live at 5 meter will not live at 50 meter, but it can migrate. So when sea level started going up, it will try to migrate, and when it cannot migrate, it will become extinct. Now you can date it. You know the date, you know the depth. Plot date versus depth, you will get when sea level was lower than today. So this is in a very simplest term because it is not a geological gathering. So I put only these 2 slides. And after summary, the first one who actually started this work was R.R. Nair from NIO and Dr. Rajguru from Deccan College, Pune, who first, but they were having only 3 dates. Based on that, they started talking about sea level, but we now have a plenty of dates, and I summarized, and this is the sea level curve. And from here, that its application starts. 15,000 years back, sea level was about 100 meters lower than today. Friends, if you today stand at Chowpatty or Juhu Beach in Bombay and imagine you have to walk into the sea 125 kilometers, then you will get the beach. Because sea level was 100 meters lower than today, the shelf breadth. How much land was exposed? Think of, just imagine. Okay. Sea level started going up. While up and down, if you ask question, I will tell you afterwards. It was stable for some time, then very sharp rise is there, and around 9.5 thousand years, between 20 to 30 meter water depth. This point you remember because I will discuss it. Around 7,000 years, it has grown above the present sea level. So when it has gone above the present sea level, it has submerged something. Around 6,000, 5,000, it was higher than today. Around 3,500, it was lower than today. Around 2,000, 3,000, it was higher than today. Of course, between 0 to 2,000 years, we don't have very good point. But recently, when I was working on Gopikapatnam in Goa, we noticed that there is another fluctuation about 1 meter to 2 meter water depth that is around 1,000 years. Very few people know. We have also not published it. This is published. First time this, I think I written here. First time it was published in 95, then I modified it in 2002 and 2012, and even now we are again wishing to update it. Remember this curve, because it's like Aladdin's lamp. This is going to help you in many ways. Now, let us start with the first Lothal. The history of Lothal started the first time when the sea came into the picture. 1954, actually what happened, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, when country was divided in partition, we lost to Pakistan. After that, there was efforts by Indian archaeologists to locate sites within our territory. One such site was Lothal. In 1954, it was excavated by Dr. S.R. Rao. And along with many other findings, but few facts I will tell you about Lothal. When I was visiting this, the museum, some visitors came and they started talking and they said, we heard that there is a dockyard. I said, have you seen any dockyard on land? It is 12 kilometers away from the sea. It is few meters above the present sea level. It's about 80 kilometers from Ahmedabad. So this is few pictures of, since most of you are from archaeology background, so I will not take much time here. These are some of the seals, these are the wells. A very interesting thing was there, I don't know, I'm leaving the question open to you. The twin burial at Lothal. What exactly it means? If somebody can tell me, I will learn from you. Whether it is a signature of Sati Pratha that time, or it was accidental burial, or that time the dead were buried and they were not burnt, which was a tradition in Hindu family afterwards. This is a question from the speaker to the audience. Afterwards, you can ask the other questions to me. But the most important thing is this, the tank-like body. Now, soon after its excavation, a controversy started. Science in archaeology, nothing goes without controversy, and it should be. So this was the so-called tank-like body. We got few stones having the holes. And Dr. Asara was the opinion that what was the purpose of this tank-like body? He says dockyard. And this is a picturesque depiction which he made, which became a very popular now. And this is a dockyard. But Professor Sankalia, our Deccan College group, they said no, it is a freshwater irrigation tank. And friends, 54 to you can say 84, but 40 years this controversy was on. There were conferences, books, papers, dockyard versus irrigation tank. And when first time I visited, I overheard this controversy, and then I thought, why this controversy is on for so many years? Because archaeologists were arguing with the archaeologists only. That shows that multidisciplinary approach is a better approach to solve any problem. How they were arguing? There were several arguments. The simplest one I picked up. They said because this stone, which we discovered from here, is an anchor stone, like here. Even now, sometimes people use it. See this one. Since we got the anchor, these boats used to come and it was a dockyard. The other groups used the same stone. They said this is a counterweight to lift the water for irrigation. And even now you can see here, instead of this you put a stone, so this is the system. Now they kept talking. If I wish that any one of you to solve this problem, how you will do it now? Any youngster wants to make a try? Anyone? No? I give you a clue. When I was telling about that microorganisms less than a millimeter in size, what I told, where they live?
Marine.
So now who's going to solve this ever-growing archaeological problem? I want some answer. I am not going to give answer. Anyone? Be a scientist. You told it was marine, isn't it? You told. Why you are not elaborating your answer? What is the difference between an irrigation tank and a dockyard? Irrigation tank means fresh water, because nobody irrigate the land with the saline water. खारे पानी से कौन सींचता है खेती को? So what I did, I collected some samples from here, and I was visiting that site as a visitor from a physical research laboratory, one conference which D.P. Agarwal organized that time. So I collected some samples I brought to my lab. See from here, and concept was very simple. If it is an irrigation tank, we should not have these organisms. And it is a dockyard, we should have it. So you can see the beautifully well preserved foraminifera, I got it. First time when my assistant picked up, I told her, yeah, in our lab, everywhere these marine sediments are there. Who knows, there may be a contamination in our lab. So this all sieves and brushes and picking trays, clean everything, take a new set, so that there is no question of contamination. Again she picked and said, sir, ये तो मिल रहा है. And this has solved the 30-year-old problem, and I presented this into this first Marine Archaeology of Indian Ocean Countries conference. Dr. S.R. Rao has put my paper as the inaugural paper, first paper soon after inauguration, and it became a darling paper. It came that time in newspaper, this and that. And from here, I became interested in marine archaeology because I could solve a 40-year problem. I never thought, normally to write one paper, I need minimum 6 months to 1 year. Here, in just 1 week, I got a paper. So I was very happy. I said, "Yeah, this is a very good branch. इसी में काम करते हैं." So, friends, now it is proof that this tank-like body was filled with the marine water. So it tilted the argument in favor of dockyard, but few questions remain to be answered. If it was a dockyard, what the hell it is lying on the land? Have you seen any dockyard which is 12 kilometers away from the sea? That question also can be answered by us. As per archaeologists, the age of the Lothal is 4,500 years old. Okay, and according to them, this is the world's oldest dockyard ever discovered. I put that date on the sea level curve. 4,500 years, sea level was higher than today. So it was possible, sea was reaching there with the high tidal range also, and it was having a flourishing port through which we were doing a business with the Gulf countries. Because of some reason, when sea level has gone down, it became out of use and it became an abandoned city. So as a we Indian, I expect all of you to clap for these people who have first discovered it, the oldest dockyard within our country. This is a unique possession we have it, and we must be very proud of it. And I am very happy. The site has been, we started making this voice in 88, but now in 2024, Government of India has realized it. Now they are making a world-class museum at Lothal, where we are going to depict right from Samudra Manthan to the present Navy. And in September, our Honorable Prime Minister is going to inaugurate it. But when we say that sea level was higher, still the story is not ending. Science, nobody accepts the argument so easily. We have to slog it for a long time. So what I told it, the missing link came from Amrut Khadkaikar, who did the remote sensing. And this, he told that the ancient Nala, he got the paleo channels here. So he confirmed what I told in 1988, he told it in 1979, and again it is revisited and they reconfirmed in 2020, the sea level drop is for the Lothal decline. When I told it, I have gone through a lot of criticism, but now I am very happy that everybody is coming forward and proving and reproving and reanalyzing and republicizing that Lothal was a dockyard. Thank you. Thank you, Lothal. The next topic for which and I became very popular and famous was Commerce Dwarka. This is our flagship program. Dr. S.R. Rao, when he came to NIO, first he started with the Pumphar. But Pumphar have a lot of logistic problems. It was on the east coast. First survey didn't give much encouraging. So later he shifted it to the Dwarka. But why he is interested in Dwarka? How he chose Dwarka for the work? How many of you have seen Dwarkadish temple? How many of you? Anyone? No one has been to Dwarkadish? Sir, तो आपने ये भी जरूर देखा होगा. Any one of you, if next time if you go to Dwarka, please ask, I want to go to the gate where there is a police chowki. You go to the police chowki, you will see this beauty, and hats off to archaeologists. See here, you can see a modern day building. This was a Panchayat Ghar. I don't know how, Dr. Mani can answer it better than me. How archaeologists got the idea below this Panchayat Ghar there may be something buried. So he got permission and he got broken it, and below that he got a evidence of the beautiful temple which was buried into the sand, and above that there was houses. From where he got the idea that temple means probably, and this is the modern temple, this one. So there is a series of temples from present Dwarkadish temple up to the modern sea. They say, why not we should see offshore, because in Mahabharata it is mentioned that ancient Dwarka is submerged. So with that intention and thing in mind, we started going and doing survey into the, and we did 2-decade survey into Dwarka. We use all scientific, modern scientific instruments. Repeatedly, everywhere we are going and doing it. And what we got it, you can see here. This is our diver. And you can see the remnant of an ancient city. So he came up with the idea that we discovered the ancient Dwarka, ancient city. One more word of conscience I want to put. These days in social media, there is a lot of fake videos are being circulated by many YouTubers. तो जैसे शिव जी का मंदिर है, बड़े बड़े पिलर पड़े हुए हैं समुद्र में, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। और मैं एक सवाल आप लोगों से पूछता हूँ, क्योंकि किसी साइंटिस्ट और आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट ने भी पूछा था मुझसे, you people should have got some evidence of temple there. I said, why I should get the temple there? He said, Krishna must have built. I said, Krishna built a temple for himself. You want in his lifetime. Are Baba, he became God or considered as a God later. He built a port city. Dwarka was a port city. You should look for the evidence of the ancient city, which is submerged. So that's what we are getting. Again, some people came up with different ideas. How the city, see, nobody will go into that 6 to 8 meter water depth and build a city. It means city must have been built when it was a land. Somebody says that erosion might have destroyed the city. Our own oceanographer, archaeologist. I said, erosion means if something is standing and below that, if you erode it, I may fall here, but I will not be submerged. Only I can be destroyed. Then Dr. Saroj Balaji, she came up with the idea. Initially, she agreed with me. Later, somebody told, no, it's not 3,500, it is 5,000 year old. I said, why you are telling it? No, it must be, there is a reference, a badi bhari wave aayi, usne dubaya. So, madam, you are telling tsunami because you don't know what is tsunami. Tsunami is a temporary phenomenon. A big wave will come, it will go temporary for 2 hours, it will inundate area, then it will go back to its original position. So it may destroy a city, but it will not submerge a city. City will be submerged only and only and only when the sea level will go up. So what is the position? Where the 3,500 times? Let us see where was the sea. See here. It is written that Krishna built the city of Dwarka on reclaimed land. उन्होंने समुद्र से धरती छीनी. When you can reclaim the land? When sea level is going down, it is leaving lot of marshy land, which you can put the mud and everything, make it dry, like Bandara reclamation now going on, and you can build your city. You have to build a city closer to the sea if you are building a port city. So you have to be as close as possible to the sea. So he built the city of Dwarka, and 3,500 years back sea level was lower. And when again sea level has gone up, Dwarka became a submerged city. So Dwarka and Lord Krishna's story is not an imaginary story as many people believe. Here we present the fact based on the science that there is an ancient city exists at about 6 to 8 meter water depth, which is now submerged. And we must be very proud that Krishna was not an imaginary figure, he was a historical figure. I say it with the emphasis. With this, some more things. Now, this series has been covered in many of the videos. BBC has made a video which is having more than 2.7 million viewers now. Already I explained that the different reasons forwarded about the decline or the submergence of Dwarka, out of which sea level is the most probable reason can be considered. And I'm very, this also came the day after Prime Minister dived into the submerged Dwarka. And it is a matter of really joy for all of us in Anayo that what we were talking for last 2-3 decades, now our Honorable Prime Minister himself going, diving there and extending a credibility to the science what we are doing in our institute. So thank you, Prime Minister, for appreciating the work for which we spent our entire youth. Thank you very much. And lot of my lectures and videos are available on YouTube. You just give Rajiv, Nigam and I and you will get all. This is something which I don't have answer, but I want to float an idea for all of you. Think of it. And no question. See, this is a recent excavation at Senoli. Okay, and this is what the weapons, first time we are seeing it. At Dholavira, at Lotha, at Monjodro, at Thappa, we don't have weapons. But here we have, and the age which they have given is 1500 BC, means roughly 3800 years before present. We geologists or scientists talk in terms of before present. Whether society, means earlier the society was an agriculture-based society, and normally there was no much competition, enough things are available, so there was not much fight. Over the years, population has increased, agriculture has started, prosperity came. When prosperity came, the development of villages and cities started. When the cities started, they need a king to bring the peace. When king is there, some other people want to loot it, and then you need a weapon. So whether this is true or not, I leave it to you. So Senoli is before Dwarka. Means from Senoli, if you see, the things have reached to such a state where the biggest war in India we had in form of Mahabharata. This is just a hypothesis, this is just a proposal. There is no conclusion from my side. I leave the conclusion to you people. This is something which I'm very excited, because this is our latest research about Dholavira. Dholavira is, this is Harappa, this is Monjod, this is in the Kutch area, the Run area. This is called the Khadir Bet, where they were, this city is there. And this is what a picturesque site. They have a guest house also. This is our team which has worked in Dholavira. See, Dholavira was world famous for excellent water conservation system. If I go back to, no, it is in the further slides. It is between the two minor rivers, Mansar and Manar. This is a site which is bigger than, they say, Monjodro and Harappa. This is about 5,000 to 6,000 year old site. And the major thing which is noticed in this area is, first thing that what for the city was there? I believe it was a port city. Because 5,000 to 6,000 years back, if you see, sea level was higher than today. So it means this site was almost on the sea, very near to the sea. But this was not a landing point. Landing point was at Sara. Like in Bombay, Bombay city is little away from the sea. Landing point is Bhauchadhaka. So landing point is always on the sea and city is little away from the sea. That's what is happening in Dholavira. But still this is not very important. Important is here. This is a site plan of Dholavira. And in this museum, please go and beautiful depiction of Dholavira is there. I have taken a photo. I never had such a good photo where the water reservoirs have been depicted so nicely. And the citadel, it makes your concept very clear. Please go afterwards and see that in this museum. So this is the citadel. This is Bailey, this is Middle Town, this is Lower Town, and this is the sea protection wall. And these are the water conservation system here. Now the question is, and this site was first noticed by Jagatpati Joshi ji. Later it was excavated by R.S. Bish Saab, and then we poke our nose into it into 2016. Why we are here? See, this citadel is been surrounded by 18-meter thick wall. Think of it. 18-meter thick wall. I don't know, but probably the width of this room is less than 18 meters. And the outside wall, this wall is about 5 meters thick. I remember when Bish Saab delivered a lecture in Anayo twice, both the time I asked this question. Sir, why 5,000-6,000 years back they built 18-meter thick wall? They said exactly we don't know, but maybe because of protection. So from that time, these questions are haunting in me. Protection against whom? Okay, wall can be for the protection, but protection against whom? Against animal? Then the bamboo fencing is good enough. Why we have to make 18-meter thick wall? Protection against enemies. Gunpowder has been discovered in 13th century. Many of all forts in India, when the cannons were there in existence, that time I summarized that none of the fort is having this much thick wall. Even China wall is not that much thick. Then why 6,000 years back they were building a 18-meter thick wall? Somebody says it may be flood, to protect against flood. I said this area is a water-starved area. 2 minor rivers are there. If flood is a question, like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, the city walls are very thin. And moreover, because of water scarcity, they have made such an extensive water conservation system. It means they were devoid of the water. Then why they made 18-meter thick wall? We proposed that this wall is made to protect themselves from tsunami, because Dholavira is on the Makaran coast, and Makaran coast is tsunami prone area. I think in the next slide I put that one. One of my students, Subodh Kumar Chaturvedi, when I was doing his PhD, we found a signature of tsunami in this Kutch area around 8,000 years back. It means the people living in this area were aware of tsunami. Still, because of a strategic position, because of business, they have to build the city. But they want to protect themselves, that's why they have made 18-meter thick wall. But that time, nobody knew tsunami in India much. Tsunami people came to know in 2005 when it has hit the east coast of India. And other interpretation, like Dr. Baldia has given interpretation, this might, because there is a tilted wall here, you can see, this wall tilted. He came up with the idea that it is because of tsunami, wall is tilted. Sir, earthquake hit from the bottom. So if somebody wall hit the bottom, it will collapse. It's not necessary tilt, but tsunami comes horizontally. It will hit the wall from the bottom, and if you hit the bottom, if it is like that and you hit something here, it will become like this. But if you hit from here, it will collapse here. So this is another proof that tsunami did happen in this area. So we wanted to check. So this is what, that this 18-meter thick wall, this is 18-meter thick wall, and this is what we published that, and this became the world's oldest evidence of tsunami. Friends, nowhere in the world, anywhere else, this evidence exists. We must be very proud of our country and our ancestors, that 6,000 years back they knew how to protect themselves from tsunami. And recently, the tsunami wall built in Japan, a brilliant example, in Mayo City, remained protected by a dike till the March 11 tsunami. The dike was 3 meters thick at the top and 25 meters thick at the base. Average was 11. What Japan is making in 2011, our ancestors made 6,000 years back. We wanted to make further. So this one story ends here, but our story never ends, because research never ends. So what we did, we thought, let us see what happened. So we did a survey in Middletown. And this is another very big story, with due apology to those who are from Archaeological Survey of India. We did a GPR survey, nobody stopped us. In GPR, this is a GPR survey. We got, I think that's next slide. Yes. We got about 2.5 to 3 meter thick sediment, which having no layers. See, if you go and see it into the sand dunes, sand deposit, you see the layers. Sorry, this is river sediment. If you go to river side and cut a section, you will see this deposit here. You go to the beach, sand dunes, you will get the layers. You go into marine sediment, you will get the layer. So if sediments are getting deposited naturally, they have the layers. But if you take a one truck of sand and dump it anywhere, it will not have any layer. So we interpreted that this layer is a one-time deposit. One-time deposit. So from where such a thick sediment came, it came either by river or by tsunami and deposited, because the sediments are dumped at one place. So we wanted to have a trench. So I wanted to check this indirect scientific evidence physically. So I said, let us have a, I was not knowing that digging a trench is so difficult. So they said, you need a permission. I said, from whom? Who discovered it? I said, from which sir? Yes. So I telephoned to which sir. सर मुझे एक ट्रेंच खोदनी है, आपकी परमिशन? बोले मेरी परमिशन क्यों चाहिए, मैं तो कब का रिटायर हो गया। तो मैं फिर किसको पूछूं? बोले द पर्सन हु इज इन चार्ज देयर। सो आई टेलीफोन टू देम। नहीं वो आपको सैंपल चाहिए ना, आउटसाइड हम लोग वो फेंसिंग लगा रहे हैं, वहाँ से ले लीजिए। तो ना मुझे कहीं से भी सैंपल नहीं चाहिए, मुझे एक पर्टिकुलर जगह से, मिडिल टाउन से सैंपल चाहिए जहाँ पे मैंने GPR किया। नहीं वहाँ तो हम ट्रेंच नहीं खोदने देंगे। तो मैं क्यों नहीं, वो एक्टिव साइड है, एक्टिव साइड में आप ट्रेंच नहीं खोद सकते। मैंने कहा भाई हम साइंस के लिए करने वाले, नहीं खोद सकते। तो मैं फिर अच्छा एक बात बताओ, if somebody comes without permission and I want to dig the trench, what you will do? They will call the police. I will say, do one thing, you call the police and I am coming with the journalist. Okay, I will tell 20 साल से ना तो उन्होंने खुद कोई काम किया ना किसी को करने दे रहे, और आप मुझे अरेस्ट कर लो। So that man got little upset. तो नहीं ऐसा नहीं करिए, ऐसा कीजिए कि आप दिल्ली को लिख दीजिए, हमारे हेडक्वार्टर को। मैं किसको लिख दूँ? बोले हमारे डायरेक्टर जनरल को लिख दीजिए। मैं कौन है? बोले राकेश तिवारी। मैं फिर ठीक है, राकेश तिवारी साहब लखनऊ से आए थे। तो मैंने MP सिंह साहब से फ़ोन करा दिया, उनको एक लेटर लिखा, एंड देन आई गॉट अ ब्लैंकेट परमिशन. Yes, you can do the trenching anytime. Only thing, you call somebody from our local office to be present there. I said, this is agreeable to me. So in order to check whether it is a river deposit, whether really tsunami has hit this area or not, we have trenched and see there. Here is a Rupal Dubey. She is a topper of a BHU and she did PhD under me. Not on this Dholavira, she did PhD on Kerala, but out of interest she was there. This is Dr. Vijay Lawson. He is a best known India expert on GPR. This is the trench. These are the samples which we have collected it. And when we came to our lab, and credit goes to this lady, Rupal Dubey. She discovered a beautiful foraminifera. Now how you will interpret? Anyone? Can anybody conclude the story with this result?
The area was hit by a tsunami.
Yes.
The area was probably hit by a tsunami or was.
Why?
Because of the presence of.
Yes, so simple. See now, science is always very simple. Now answers started coming from my audience. I am very happy. If it was by the river, we should not have forum into it. It means sediment came from the sea. This is that what it shows. It means this outer wall could not prevent tsunami destroying it and entering into the Dholavira town. Okay, and we did survey here, Middle town. So it means, and we got the sediment means the bones which we got it. It's all domestic animal bones identified by Deccan College people. They are the co-author in this paper with me. So this means when tsunami came, and moreover, because you all are expert on archaeology, we got lot of pottery pieces. None maximum biggest piece was 10 centimeters. That is an additional proof of tsunami. How? If naturally everything is there, you go to this museum, I was there recently, just few hours back. Some broken pieces, but some good pieces, or maybe one full pot may get it, if it is a naturally deposited. Okay. But if tsunami comes, what it will do? All things will collide with each other and not a single full pot you can get it. That's what will happen here. So this is evidence that tsunami has hit. We still don't know that whether tsunami has crossed this 18-meter thick wall or not. I was pleading with Dr. Mani, somebody should do the GPR survey and the trench inside this castle to know that whether 18-meter thick wall could protect them, VIPs to them or not. Here lies another lesson for us, that only protecting the VIP is not a guarantee of survival of the city. If common man like here, the lower and middle town destroyed, the VIP area, even if tsunami was not able to hit, at least it is finished the city. Now with this I come to my last area. Okay, 2 more slides are there. Way back in 2000, near Bombay, Surat, National Institute of Ocean Technology was doing a survey, and by chance they got a discovery of the existence of an ancient city. They got some evidences here, which is at 30 to 40 meter water depth. They got some of the objects dated, which turn out to be 9.5 thousand years back. Then, Secretary to Government of India, Dr. Harsh Gupta, and Minister Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, they did a press conference. And they said this is the biggest ever discovery in the field of archaeology, and we got an most ancient city. And India Today brought out a special issue that world's oldest city. And soon after the press conference, Outlook Express brought out another issue and said it is all hoax. Many of the archaeologists still don't believe in it. Okay, but remember these two things. 30 to 40, why people were not very convinced? Somebody asked, some journalist asked that minister at that time, sir, how a city can be at 30 to 40 meter water depth? Now, since secretary was an earthquake interest, see, you interpret something which you know. He knew earthquake. So he thought, okay, because of earthquake, probably it has gone down. He said, nothing else has gone down, only that city has gone down. It is not convincing. So they say it is all cooked up story. Harsh Gupta asked me, Rajiv, what you say? I said, sir, for me it's damn easy. See here. 9.5 thousand years back. See, this is discovery came in 2000. Published. Okay, the issue was I think 2001 or something. See here the age and the depth, 30 to 40 meter water depth, and sea level was rising very slowly. See, which is meeting here was meeting here. It means all the river which are meeting the sea here, they were meeting at this time. So no one should have any doubt that it is possible to have a city here. The depth and the timing and the sea level curve matches very well. Now, in case of Dwarka, I remember I was asked question and I had a tough time to answer. It was Krishna's Dwarka. People were, I said, as a scientist, I can say with confidence that there was a city. But Krishna's Dwarka, I have to take a help from the literature to say it is Krishna's Dwarka. Now, I leave it to the, because since there is no literally evidence available about any city in this area, which is 9.5 thousand years back gone into the city. You can name the city if anyone you wish so. But this is the oldest evidence. And recently when there was a meeting at the residence of Honorable Minister Sonewal, he says, we have to work hard because Prime Minister Modi says our civilization is 5,000 years old. So I said, sir, I wish to make a small submission. He said, well, I said, why you have the sacrosanct figure of 5,000? He said, normally people say Lothal, another thing, they are 5,000 years. I said, sir, here is the evidence. I will send you my publication also. You can take this civilization back to at least 9.5 thousand years, not 5,000 years. And he agreed. I submitted, who is the secretary to Ministry of this Surface Transport and Water. I sent that paper. It is published in Elsevier Journal. So it's not that is like that. It is published in Elsevier. So this is the evidence of the. Or you know what is significance of this? This made the urban civilization of China is younger than India. India is the oldest. This question was asked me when I was assessed for Scientist G. You know the significance of your work. This is the significance. And friends, give us a clap. The oldest urban civilization in the subcontinent is within the India. Give them a big clap. Now, this is something which I say that I want to purposefully kept it here. Out of you, someone wants to become overnight a very good, very famous scientist. Here is a spot. Every one of you has seen the Mahabalipuram? Okay, good. Anyone else, Chennai? What is so peculiar? Tell us. Tell something about Mahabalipuram. Whatever you want.
So we can easily find the different periods of Pallava architecture.
Yeah, so in the year, how much you pay? 1,000 years.
So more than 1,000.
Around 1,000, 1,100. Manisab can correct us if we are wrong. Okay, about 1,000, something like that. I don't believe in it. Why, I will tell you. See, by chance, some of you might have seen this Selvakuppam. When the tsunami came, it has eroded the sediment cover north of Mahabalipuram, and this was visible, this portion. You can see still the depth. Present sea level, this beach level is here. So something was written, state archaeology, they thought, they started excavating, they found evidence of an ancient city. You can see this temple. Nobody knew about it. So we thought that if north of this is there, let us do GPS survey south of it. So what we did, before that we did a survey in offshore area here. This is Mahabalim temple and the offshore survey. To our surprise, we found the remnant of ancient structure at same depth, 6 to 8 meter roughly, equivalent to the Dwarika time, submerged Dwarika time. Okay, and I can show you. See the structures, underwater exploration of, this is Mahabalipuram and this is Dwarika. If you build a story, what you can say, interpret out of it? When sea level was lower, Selvakuppam was built, couple of meters down now. You go to offshore, you get a structure of the ancient structures. It means when sea level was lower, this was a temple town. Okay, so if offshore survey has been done the way we have done for Dwarika, this is a big discovery in waiting. Someone should take up. We did also the survey, I think that I missed this slide. Yes. We did the south of the temple, the GPR survey, where now the small kiosk people, they are selling the ornaments made up of shells. People go for the walk on the beach south of Mahabalipuram. Below that sand, something like Selvakuppam is there, friends. I suggest, you encourage some people to do more survey in south of temple. You may discover a submerged buried temple. Go to offshore area, you can get another evidence, something like submerged Dwarka and another big discovery. So Mahabalipuram is waiting for a big discovery. My time is over. It is you people's time. Someone should take over and become a famous archaeologist. And according to me, if that is true offshore, then the total age of this town should be around 3,500 years. And the Pallavas have renovated this topmost sample, which is above the sea level. This must have been destroyed earlier. Okay, and Pallavas around 1,000 years here. So you can notice next time when you go there, you notice base is made up of laterite. And the top one is made up of charnocite. That shows that present temple is a afterthought or later built. So this is something which need our the attention of our archaeologists. And this is one of the very controversial thing. There was a time when Setu Samudram project was conceived, because in between India and Sri Lanka, the ship, if you want to go from Bombay to Chennai, you can't pass here. You have to take a full turn of Sri Lanka and then go. Our research ship, because I spent about 6-7 years my life into the sea, so I know it. You cannot pass in between because the water depth is about 10 feet only. So ship cannot pass. So government thought it can break it and it can go, but the Indian and Hindu philosophy, they believe that this is a place where Rama has built a temple. When this controversy was there, some journalists used to telephone me. Sir, anything you want to say? I said no. Because I don't know when Ram was born, how I can tell you where was the sea and whether was a bridge or not. Later that people came up with the idea and where is this? Okay, this came, our work on Ram Setu came on ZTV also, Aaj Tak also, and a lot of other YouTube channels and some of the national channels. This became a very popular work. But so that what they have done, they have taken the star positions from Valmiki Ramayana, put it into planetarium software, and then they can, if you have seen, how many of you have seen that movie recently, the Dhaulavira? Somebody wish, no, not Dhaulavira. Akshay Khanna was there. Ram Setu. How many of you have seen? Only 3-4 people, that's all. One name comes there, Pushkar Bhatnagar. So this is the work of actually Pushkar Bhatnagar. He says around 7,000 years, 7,100 years. And Saroj Balaji has used it extensively. The 5,100 year BC means roughly 7,100 years. I said, now I can say something. Remember this time, 7,000 years back, and see the sea level. About 2 to 3 meters lower than present sea level. It means that time, see, don't get confused with the word Ram Setu or Adam's Bridge. Rams has never had overhead bridge or flyover. What he built is a Setu Bandha Rameshwaram. It's a band. It is a causeway. Like गांव में देखा होगा ना कि नदी में पानी कम होता है, people put the stones and they cross. Same thing he did here, because 7,000 years back, India and Sri Lanka were almost connected. Only thing, some in between shallow things, very shallow sea was there. So you can put the trees and stones and whatnot, and you can cross over to Sri Lanka. So here is another proof that the story of Ram and the story of Ram Setu also is not a figure of imagination of any great poet like Valmiki or Tulsi. According to me, according to science, it is a hard fact. Yes, Ram did exist. He came to this area, Ram Setu. He crossed over to Sri Lanka by creating a bund, and it was possible. And this is the only time I agree with this date, because some people have gave the age 11,000 years. I will tell you why it is not possible. 7,000 is the best age because sea level was almost connecting India. So friends, these are the things which I wanted to highlight today. We should be very proud that we have the oldest dockyard. We should be very proud that we have the oldest urban civilization, which is submerged of Surat. We have the story of Ram and Krishna is not an imagination. It is a hard fact. There are scientific evidences, they do exist. And if we give importance to the places like Dholavira and Lothal, definitely our earning through tourism can increase many fold. And here is a documentary evidence you can see here. In 2019, our position was 25th in the international tourist arrival in the world. Our position, you can see here, and sorry, it was 2001, it was 21st. You can see it was around 40 only, up to 38, 2011, 2012, again 45th, 2013, 45th. And what changed after between 2013 and 14? What great change came in India in 2014? The government changed. The government's attitude changed towards archaeology. The government's attitude changed towards cultural heritage. And it has immediately converted. People normally ask, why temple, why this? No, it's economics. These are things which is earning a lot. And you can see here, international tour is 2014. From 41st we came to 24th. You can see here, 24, 25, 24, 25. So, and this is only up to 2019. I am sure now we would have reached below 20. So this is a proof. So this shows that how sea level studies are very important. How sea level has shaped the destiny of many Indian coastal towns. Here is a lesson. If you invest heavy private and public investments in a low-lying area near the sea, you are likely to pay a prices for it. Like the way Dwarka became a submerged city. Now again there is a warning, there is a global warning that sea level is likely to go up, the world warm up with the climate change. There are reports, since a UNESCO report, city sea level rising 1.2 millimeter per year. Vinci is already under the water, Panjim, this capital of Goa, may be in the sea. So if we don't take precautionary measures now, it may happen, it so happened. Today's many of the big coastal cities which we are enjoying will become the property of future marine archaeologists. They will say, I discovered Bombay and you discovered Chennai. They are the summer cities. Let us take care, such things should not happen. So this is my step, a small step to unravel the past in order to illuminate the future. And this is the sentence which I showed in the beginning of my lecture. The one who is proud of his or her rich cultural heritage always works hard to maintain the high standard of living and tries to enhance. Not only try to enhance, he also enhanced the economic situation of his own country. So friends, archaeology, marine archaeology is a wonderful branch. I invite all of you, and now I am open. Thank you very much from my side. And any question and every question is welcome. So if you have any doubt, any suggestion, please feel free.
You can just raise your hand after 5 rounds.
Okay. Anything, no problem. All are welcome.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening lecture. Actually, I wanted to ask that offshore Dwarka urban settlement, according to the parameters, there should be the infrastructures to declare a site as the urban settlement. What are those infrastructures that present offshore under the sea to declare it as a Dwarka settlement, urban settlement? Thank you.
I take your question in a little elaborate way. Because I remember I got a telephone call from a secretary of Government of India, and they wanted to put a tube so that visitors can go and see the city. So I told the secretary very point blank, said I am very happy because a few crores rupees I will get, which I will use it for my research. But if you are really asking me, don't do it. Because probably you are also influenced by the fake videos of Dwarka. Dwarka is having a evidence of ancient city in form of the stone slabs, which is not natural. Okay, they are arranged in a way as their base. See, you go to any archaeological site, what you get is only foundations. So Dwarka also, so for that if you spend crores of rupees, people will not go to see that only few foundation stones. There is no temple or city like. It's not that you will walk into the bedroom of Dwarka, Krishna. So I said, what you can do actually, I said, you can organize, and this is the fair weather sea, this is the choppy sea. We get only 2-3 months in a year to work there. Otherwise, nothing is visible down. Sea is so choppy. So I suggested you do a scuba diving program there. But I am very happy. We abandoned this Dwarka project about 10 years back because we thought we are not getting good funds also, and whatever was possible of limited resources, we have done it. Now Prime Minister has gone down. Okay, the Kirti Vegad, who has taken him to the depth, he is a good friend, and we both are there in one of the video. We interviewed next day after Prime Minister has gone into the sea. I think now this is a high time. Because Kirti Vigad is telling me, sir, आपने नहीं देखा है, वहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा एक प्लेटफॉर्म जैसा भी है. अगली बार ले चलूँगा. तो हमने कहा मुझे मत ले जाओ, नई टीम वालों को ले जाओ, मैं तो मेरी एज हो रही है अब. So I hope that now Dwarka project will be taken up in a big way now, and need to be taken up immediately. Because a lot of instruments have changed, no more sophisticated instruments have came. You have seen the instrument I showed. The position fixing, we have done it with the sextant. Very difficult job that time. Now that satellite fixing is there, so this is the way. But we cannot do more than that. Means we cannot say that this is our. It's already in our territory. It's already in EZ. So what else we can declare? This is ours only. So actually, the photograph which I showed outside the Dwarkadhish temple, which none of you have seen because it has not been publicized, that is the root cause or the birthplace of Dwarka excavation. Had that temple was not discovered and one below that, probably SRO would have never thought of going for the submerged Dwarka. And none of us, today I would not have been here to talking about it. So that is also, any one of my friends now going, I am asking, you are going to Dwarka, they see the temple. So give publicity to this type of thing. Then only the Dwarka will flourish. I think somebody raise hand here.
I seem to have the mic, so may I? Thanks a lot for a very enlightening lecture. And your slide on the time frame and the sea depths was most fascinating.
Thank you.
Also formed the basis for a number of explanations and theories that we have propounded. Today we talk about sea water change, sea level change because of climate change. But over a period of time, what might have been the causes? And around 9,000 years back, there's a very sharp, almost a discontinuous change. So what possibly could have caused that?
See, very simple word I will tell you. Climate is nothing but the energy balance. We receive the energy from the sun and we radiate back the energy to the atmosphere. Now, greenhouse gases, which is being blamed now for global warming, actually is a beneficial, because the sun rays, they come in short wave, they could pass it and they could come on the earth. Earth radiate back energy which is in long wave, and these greenhouse gases trap the part of the energy. That's why earth is warm. That is why the life is possible on the earth. We owe our existence to greenhouse gases. But not what happened, we started pumping a lot of greenhouse gases. So we are trapping more energy. That's why earth is likely to be warm. This is called anthropogenic change. But if we are the only one who is responsible, and because of us only, sea level will go up, then man was not that active 150 years back. Climate should not have changed. Climate was changing that time also. So it is the relative position of earth and sun which govern. When we receive more energy from the sun naturally, what we call it natural climatic variability. Actually, that was the reason for which this curve was made, which later became useful in marine archaeology. Okay. So when we receive more energy, the ice on poles start melting, and water in the sea become thermal expansion. So sea level is likely to go up. And when we receive less energy from the earth, because sun is also not like earth, sun is also not constant. There is a lot of cyclicity in the energy from the sun. Sometimes earth expands, it contracts. I remember my monsoon work, for which I got first time my CSIR Young Scientist Award, that radius of the sun changing, accordingly send more or less energy, which controls the monsoon on the earth. Sunspots also changing energy. Sometimes sunspots are high, sunspots are low accordingly. So it is the relative position of sun and earth which govern the sea level changes. So it was the natural, only thing the natural climatic changes are slow. It takes a lot of time. And what it's very good you pointed out the sharp rise. These days there are a lot of conferences, rapid climate change. The title is Rapid Climate Change. No one is very sure about this feedback mechanism. When sea level started going up, it suddenly goes up. Then it slows down. Why it is, it's not very clear. I hope when somebody physical oceanographer, sometimes they may give a better answer than me. But this is the reason. And this rapid climate change, I don't know how many of you have noticed. I say 4,500 years back, sea level was up to low tide, which is few meters above the present sea level. Then I come back just 1,000 years afterwards. I say Dwarka, 3,500 years back, which is 6 meters lower than. You add up. It's a big sea level change in within 1,000 years. And that is the reason some of the present climate scientists are issuing the warning. Don't think that future sea level will be slow process. It may be very rapid, and before you realize it, you may have to pay a heavy price. Thank you.
नमस्कार सर. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन नेसेसरीली आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइड से नहीं हो सकता, बट एज एन एस्पायरिंग आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट हम कैसे समझ सकते हैं कि जो गैप आता है हमारे बिलीफ्स में, हमें जो सिखाया जाता है बचपन से, एंड जो हम आर्कियोलॉजिकली एविडेंसेस पाते हैं, उसको बीच में हम कैसे एक सिम्बायोसिस उसके बीच में ला पाए, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन द केस ऑफ द्वारका. थैंक यू.
देखिए, the type of education we give, I think that we have some problem with it. मैं जब क्लास लेता हूँ, I am a visiting professor in some of the universities, and I wanted to become a teacher. Somehow the destiny has taken me towards science. हमारे यहाँ बच्चों को, सवाल पूछने वाले बच्चों को शरारती या बदमाश बच्चा डिक्लेयर किया जाता है. मैं कहता हूँ काम वही करेगा जो सवाल पूछेगा. और ये लाइफ में खाली एजुकेशन में नहीं, हमेशा ये बात रखेगा. और ये हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति में ये चीज प्रभावी थी. तर्क. हमारी संस्कृत में कोई ये नहीं कहता है कि यू बिलीव इन मी, कि हवा में घोड़ा उड़ता है यू बिलीव इट. नो, आप अपना दिमाग लगाओ और सोचो. तर्क करने की जो शक्ति है और तर्क करने की स्वतंत्रता जो होती है वो सबको होनी चाहिए. जब आप तर्क करेंगे, देखिए अभी मैंने आप ही लोगों से आंसर निकलवाए लोथल के बारे में, आपसे मैंने आंसर निकलवाए धौलावीरा के बारे में. मैंने तो नहीं बोला ना, आपके पास तो ये साइंस नहीं थी. आपने क्या किया, दो अलग अलग जगह थे, अपने तर्क शक्ति से दोनों को जोड़ा और आंसर दे दिया. तो अगर जिंदगी में हमेशा तर्कशील बनिए और क्वेश्चन करने. क्लास में जब आप टीचर से क्वेश्चन करते हैं, आप टीचर की बदतमीजी नहीं कर रहे होते. जो पढ़ाया गया है आप उसके बारे में अगर आप क्लियर नहीं हो या आपके कुछ और डाउट हैं तो आप वो जानना चाहते हैं. तो हमारे यहाँ क्या हुआ है कि जो पढ़ाया गया उसके बारे में तो बहुत लंबी डिबेट है और मैं पॉलिटिकल डिबेट में जाना नहीं चाहता हूँ. लेकिन साथ में ये जो सिखाया गया कि जो पढ़ाया गया चुपचाप, जो बच्चा क्लास में चुपचाप बैठा है, जो पढ़ाया गया रट के लिखाता है, नंबर ज़्यादा लाता है, वो ज़्यादा होशियार है. मैं जब रिसर्च के लिए स्टूडेंट होते हैं तो मैं उनको बोलता हूँ, देखो मुझे स्लेव्स नहीं चाहिए, मुझे वो बच्चे चाहिए जो मुझे क्वेश्चन कर सके. और करते हैं. मैं उन्हें ट्रेनिंग देता हूँ, उन्हें परमिशन देता हूँ कि मुझसे आर्ग्यू करो. मैं उम्र में ज़्यादा हूँ इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मैं सही हूँ. मैं जो कह रहा हूँ उसके ऊपर तुम सोचो और तुम डिसाइड करो कि सही क्या है. अगर तुम्हारी बात ज़्यादा कन्विंसिंग होगी तो मैं मान लूँगा. अब आपको मैं बिलीफ की बात बताऊँ, नासिक कुंभ में मुझे बुलाया गया था एक लेक्चर देने के लिए, रामायण वाला के राम सेतु वाला पे। एक साहब बोले आई डोंट बिलीव यू। मैंने उनसे कहा थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। बोले ये तो कोई आंसर नहीं हुआ। तो मैंने कहा आप अगर आपके बिलीव का मैं क्या करूं, आपका बिलीव है, यू लिव विद योर बिलीव। लेकिन अगर आपको मेरे डेटा में कहीं पे कोई कमी दिखती है, आप मुझे बोलिए आपने ये जो डेटा दिखाया है ये मेरे हिसाब से ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे होना चाहिए, तब तो मैं आपसे तर्क कर सकता हूँ। अगर आपकी बात सही होगी तो मैं मान लूंगा। कई बार ऐसा हुआ है, मैंने जो कहा है मेरे स्टूडेंट ने या ऑडियंस में लोगों ने कहा है, मैं उनसे एग्री करता हूँ। आई थिंक योर आर्गूमेंट इज बेटर देन माइन। उसमें कोई शर्म या लिहाज की बात होनी नहीं चाहिए। तो आप भी ये काम कीजिए। जितने स्टूडेंट बैठे मैं उन्हें बोलता हूँ कि जब भी क्लास में कोई टीचर पढ़ाए या आप रिसर्च ज्वाइन करिए, अगर आपका टीचर आपको कोई रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम देता है तो आप जरूर पूछिए सर यही प्रॉब्लम क्यों। तो जब तक वो ये ना बताएं कि ये प्रॉब्लम क्यों है, तब तक आप संतुष्ट मत होइए।
थैंक यू सर।
और भी किसी का हाथ यहाँ से मैंने उठते देख लिया। एक माइक देने क्या नहीं।
This is quick, three questions. One, what is the spread or the size of this Dwarka settlement underwater? And second is like, are there attempts to study the condition of the structures which are present underwater? And third, why a site like Salu and Kupam cannot be Dwarka? Why Dwarka is this? I mean, this site has been identified to be the actual or the Puranic Dwarka.
The other side name which you are taking, what has been discovered there? Other than Dwarka, what has been discovered? See, आप पहले कह लीजिए फिर मैं बोलता हूँ.
So what is the coastal line which has been studied and how it has been identified to be the Dwarka?
See, we have generated the map. If sea level will go up by 1 meter, by 2 meter, what area will be submerged? We did it for Ministry of Environment and Forest. Similarly, since I work on sea level, I also work what was the coastline 500 years before, 1000 years before, major points here. I found that Dwarka is initially this was debated among archaeologists. I was not an archaeologist, but I sat there. They come in general agreement that it should be outside the Dwarkadhish temple. The survey should start from here. Initially, we did a large area with a broader grid. Means 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer. So where we got first, we started narrowing down the grid. So by the grid sample, we analyze only few square meter area. Actually, the area may be little bigger. That's what I told the Kirti Vigad, what he told, he got a flat, which I remember in 20 years we have not seen. Because we were, होते हैं जब कुछ मिल जाता है तो आप वहाँ ज़्यादा कंसंट्रेट करना शुरू करते हैं. आपके उससे मुझे एक और सवाल याद आता है, मैं आपसे ही शुरुआत करता हूँ पूछना. लोथल द्वारका में है, समर्स द्वारका में है, धौलावीरा गुजरात में है. 3 मेजर जो फाइंडिंग है. और ये भी है जो समर सिटी है 9,500 वाला, ये भी गुजरात में है. तो आज से कुछ 1000 साल पहले आदमी सिर्फ गुजरात में ही रहता था. ऐसा था क्या? सारी चीजें गुजरात में ही है. और अगर फिर मैंने आपको राम सेतु का भी बताया. राम सेतु में राम अयोध्या से लंका तक गए. लंका में उन्होंने कहाँ पे बनाया आर्मी? तो he has not brought his army from Ayodhya. He raised the army in between in Karnataka. It means people must be living there. He has went up to Sri Lanka and won the war. It means people, उनके शहर का, अभी तमिलनाडु में एक बड़ी अच्छी रिसर्च हुई है, चल रही है भी वो. मुझे लगता है वो हिंदुस्तान का इतिहास पुराना काफी बदलेगी. एक सवाल जो मैं एक्सपेक्ट करता था आप में से कोई पूछेगा, आप लोगों में से किसी ने पूछा नहीं. लोथल अगर 4,500 साल पुराना पोर्ट था तो उसके कंटेम्प्रेरी पोर्ट कहाँ है? सिर्फ गुजरात में ही पोर्ट था, तो ऐसा पोर्ट तो किसी काम का नहीं है अगर उसका कंटेम्प्रेरी पोर्ट ना हो. तो ये एंशियंट सेटलमेंट्स एंड एंशियंट पोर्ट अगर नहीं मिले, मेरे हिसाब से इसके 3 रीजन हो सकते हैं. या तो ये थे ही नहीं, अगर ये नहीं थे तो लोथल भी नहीं होना चाहिए था. इसका मतलब रहे होंगे और डिस्ट्रॉय हो गए होंगे. तो अगर लोथल बच गया तो बाकी क्यों नहीं बचे कहीं ना कहीं. और तीसरा ये हो सकता है कि nobody has thought about it, nobody has done survey to it. किसी ने खोजा ही नहीं, जंगल में कोई गए ही नहीं. होता क्या है, एक डिस्कवरी हुई, दूसरा आदमी गया. आपने मान लीजिए जैसे द्वारिका ढूंढी है दिल्ली में, दूसरा जाएगा तो मुझे बोलेगा नहीं मुझे तो वो मालवीय नगर मिल गया. तीसरा भी जाएगा नहीं मुझे तो भाई वो कनॉट प्लेस मिल गया है. ये आसान होता है. अब कोई बागपत थोड़ा जाएगा ढूंढने के लिए कि वहाँ कोई शहर था कि नहीं था. तो गुजरात में चूंकि इनिशियली गुड साइन मिले तो लॉट ऑफ कंसंट्रेशन वाज देयर इन गुजरात ओनली. फिर किसी वजह से राखी गढ़ी में मिले तो लॉट ऑफ कंसंट्रेशन केम इन नौरा. नाउ एवरीबडी वांट्स टू वर्क ऑन राखी गढ़ी. तो unknown, going into unknown area and spending months and years in roaming around surveying, chance of discoveries are rare. So, but if you do find a new thing, making a name and fame is more. But if you agree with somebody previously, you may survive. It is easy to be agree with someone. कि कनॉट प्लेस के पास आपने कोई और शहर ढूंढ लिया, पहाड़गंज ढूंढ लिया, ठीक है आपका नाम आ जाएगा, आपने भी ढूंढा है. लेकिन बजाय पहाड़गंज के अगर आप कहीं जाते अयोध्या में ढूंढते जाके मंदिर तो आपका ज़्यादा अच्छा होता. पहाड़गंज ढूंढने में आपको कोई याद नहीं रखेगा. यू बिकेम 1 of 1000. और एक चीज़ और है, particularly among the leftist historian, some of the people in this country, जो चीज जहां है वहां नहीं होनी चाहिए. अगर जहां द्वारका ढूंढी गई है वहां द्वारका नहीं होनी चाहिए. अयोध्या जो है अयोध्या में नहीं होनी चाहिए, वो इक्वेटर के पास में होनी चाहिए. हैं हिस्टोरियन जो कह रहे हैं अयोध्या जो है वो कहीं अफगानिस्तान में होना चाहिए. मतलब सारे एविडेंस हैं, नाम तक कंटिन्यू है अयोध्या का, लेकिन वो ये मानने को तैयार नहीं है कि रामचंद्र जी की अयोध्या में यूपी में थी. वो पाकिस्तान में हो सकती है, वो अफगानिस्तान में हो सकती है, टिम्बकटू में हो सकती है, मून पे हो सकती है, लेकिन अयोध्या में नहीं हो सकती है. इस एटीट्यूड से हमें छुट्टी पानी होगी. मैं ये नहीं कर, गलत भी हो सकती है, लेकिन आप एविडेंस के साथ लाइए, खाली हवा में तीर मत चलाइए. अच्छा, चूंकि आपका बड़ा नाम है, आप प्रिंट मीडिया में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में आपका नाम है, तो लोग बोलेंगे कि नहीं. मुझे याद है एक साहब ने एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में मेरे बहुत पीछे लग गए, किसी अब नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ मैं. आपने उनका काम पढ़ा है? हमने कहाँ पढ़ा है, उसके बारे में क्या विचार है? हमने कोई विचार नहीं है. लेकिन हमने कहा मैं अपना काम बताता हूँ, दूसरे के काम का आप जज हो सकते हो. मैं तो उसी फील्ड में काम कर, मैं दूसरे आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट का जज मैं कैसे हो सकता हूँ? जज तो वो होगा. तो बोले नहीं फिर भी आप बताइए. तुमने अच्छा आपने पढ़ा है? बोले हाँ. तुमने कहा रामचंद्र जी का टाइम क्या बताया? बोले 11,000 साल. हमने बात से पीछे मत हटिएगा. बोले हाँ. मैंने कर निकाला. बोला मैं तो हिंदुस्तानी हूँ, मेरा कर मत मानिए, हो सकता है मैंने गलत बनाया हो भाई. मैं आपको इंटरनेशनल कर्व लगाता हूँ, जो मेरे कर्व से कोई बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर नहीं है, कुछ मीटर का अंतर है, 2-4 मीटर का. अब बताइए कि 10,000 11,000 साल पहले समुद्र का लेवल कहाँ था? तो बोले वो तो 100 मीटर नीचे था। तुमने इंडिया और श्रीलंका के बीच में किस बेवकूफ़ को ब्रिज बनाने की जरूरत थी? ये तो खुद ही कनेक्टेड थे। तो फिर रामचंद्र जी, या तो रामचंद्र जी ने ब्रिज नहीं बनाया, वो झूठ बोला, या रामचंद्र जी खुद थे, वो झूठ बोला गया, या रामचंद्र जी 11,000 साल पहले रहते थे, ये गलत बात है। मैं निर्णय में आपको छोड़ता हूँ। और कोई सवाल? यस, ये माइक दे दीजिए किसके पास।
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful lecture. And my question is, can we compare GPR survey and excavation? Can you throw some light on GPR survey?
There are number of geophysical instruments are there. Okay, GPR is not the only one. Okay, like in offshore, GPR doesn't work. GPR work only on the land. When we go to offshore, sparker, boomer, air gun, these are the idea is how much penetration you want, and actually what you want to see. First you have, for research I will tell you, first you make a working hypothesis. Then you should think to test this hypothesis what you need. If you need to see only say 5 meter, 10 meter, then you should go for a sparker. Why you have to go for air gun, and which you get a big ship and crores of rupees? So on the land, something which is buried. That's how आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि on the land, what is the maximum depth you people have gone where you got a habitat situation, signatures? 5-10 meters, maximum 10 meter. GPR is the best instrument. सस्ता और टिकाऊ. It's cheap. Expertise are available in India. Easy to operate. You can hire 2 laborers and you can do it. You can put it behind your cycle. You can put it behind your scooter. So what actually do you want to do? GPR is the best thing for such type of work, and we are propagating it. Actually, Shinde साहब asked me couple of time राखी गढ़ी थी कि अपने दोस्तों को लेके आओ GPR सर्वे करो. The only thing problem I will tell you, at least couple of dozens of universities are having GPR. मुझे याद है जब मैं धौलावीरा में GPR लेके जाने वाला था तो हमारे एक मित्र थे, उन्होंने बोला नो डोंट गो देयर, डोंट डू GPR सर्वे. ऐसे भाई, इससे गांधीनगर वालों ने पहले कर रखा है. ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, उनके रिजल्ट दिखाओ. नहीं, उन्होंने कहा कुछ मिला नहीं है. तो हमने देखो भाई ये मेरे साथ नहीं चलेगा. अगर कुछ नहीं मिला तो ये बात भी उन्हें पब्लिश करनी चाहिए. उन्हें अपने रिकॉर्ड, जैसे मैं रिकॉर्ड यहाँ दिखा रहा हूँ कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ, सारा खेल मैडम रिकॉर्ड के इंटरप्रिटेशन की एक्सपर्टाइज का. ये सब ऑल आर इनडायरेक्ट रिकॉर्ड्स. ओके, समथिंग लाइक दिस यू गेट लाइक योर इकोग्राम. व्हाई यू नीड a cardiologist to interpret your heart rate? Because everybody cannot do it. You need a training for it. So interpreting the GPR record require a lot of training. We use it for Kerala. Another problem, whether sediment is wet or sediment is dry, that also you can find out from GPR. Civil engineers use it for this sub-bottom pipelines, sewer lines, pipelines, drainage, for that system. I hope I answer your question. Okay. I must thanks Manisha, you and your excellent team, and madam, your arrangements are very excellent, and Priyanka has explained me very well. I want to thank you also, and Manisha giving me an opportunity to come and talk to wonderful audience, participating audience. Thank you very much. And if more questions, you can ask me anytime.
True to the